Hey guys, and welcome to a food prep for spring video. I am so excited to be making this video because it means that spring is kind of upon us, is just getting started. So I'm starting the video off by searching for some wild garlic. Now, as you can see, this patch is a little sparse, so I did check it out to see how mature and or kind of, young the plants are, and unfortunately they were little too young. Well, actually they weren't too young, but they're a little too sparse, and it's really important if you're foraging not to pick up any plants that, one, you're not sure what they are, but also if there isn't enough there. So yeah, just a little tip for you. So I'm going to be starting this video off by making a lot of sauerkraut, and I'm going to be trying to make a huge batch this time because I think I finally got it down, but I'm still using this book, this Wild Crafted Fermentation book, just to double check that I'm getting all of the proportions right, because it's really important that you get the amount of salt correct, because otherwise it's too salty or it won't ferment properly or it will spoil. So yeah, it's just important. I'm really enjoying this book because I'm trying to learn more about foraging, about fermenting, and about using brines and different things like that. So I'm just making a really simple recipe. The book that I'm using is by Pascal Baudard, I think it's pronounced Baudard. He also makes sort of seawater brines, plant-based cheeses, and lots more in his book. So yeah, it's a pretty great one that I've sort of got into. If you are liking this video, guys, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to help me in that algorithm, just to get more videos out there, and I really appreciate your support. If you want to go a little further, then you could also follow me on Instagram for daily content and reels. I'm only 2k away from 90k, so yeah, help a girl out and go and follow me there. So I'm just finishing off my sauerkraut, putting it in a sterilized glass jar, and I don't have any weights, so I just use a sterilized little glass. It was a little bit silly of me not to leave more room at the top, but well, I checked it every day. Well, I am checking it every day, and I'm just gonna let this ferment for about 10 days. Now, this would not be a sustainably vegan video without a coffee break, and recently I've been drinking mushroom coffee. If you've been watching any of my recent videos, you will know this. So I want to say a massive thank you to Four Sigmatic for sponsoring today's video. It doesn't taste like mushrooms, it's smooth, it's dark, and is completely crash free. Plus it has lion's mane and chaga functional mushrooms, which is important for me as someone who really struggles with productivity at the moment. Lion's mane is amazing for productivity, and chaga is supposed to support your immune system. And most importantly for me, it's made with fair trade coffee beans. So after I drink this delicious coffee, I'm going to be making some cacao and cinnamon hazelnut granola. So all I'm going to be doing is roughly chopping the hazelnuts. I tend to choose hazelnuts because they are able to be grown in the UK. And then I'm just going to be adding some rolled oats. We don't have cup measurements in the UK, and to be honest, I don't like to use them anyway, considering they're not particularly accurate because every cup seems to be a different gram. So I just pretty much with granola just kind of wing it. So I was following various other recipes which didn't really make sense, so I decided just to, as I said, wing it. I've got oats, pumpkin seeds, coconut oil, you can use any oil, maple syrup, vanilla, and then I've just put in loads of cinnamon because I absolutely love it. And then this is where the Four Sigmatic plant protein comes in. I put in about 1.5 scoops for this whole thing, but of course you can put in more. It's an immune-supporting, chef-worthy plant protein that makes incredible smoothies, shakes, and pancakes, and for me, delicious granola. is crafted with pure plant protein, functional mushrooms, real organic cacao, and no fillers whatsoever. So I'm just going to mix this up. You don't want your mixture to be liquid at all, but you don't want it to be too dry. So I'm going to put this in the oven for about 10 minutes. Once it comes out the oven, then I just mixing it up and then I put it back in for about 10 minutes more. It really depends on how hot your oven is. And then once it's ready, I'm just going to simply put it on the counter to cool down and put it into several jars to have ready for a couple of weeks. If you're interested, I have an offer in the description with Four Sigmatic on their best-selling Lion's Mane coffee. You can receive up to 10% off their best-selling Lion's Mane coffee bundles. And to claim this, you have to go to foursigmatic.com/sustainablyvegan. And your full discount will be applied at checkout. So back to my sprouts. These sprouts take about 7 days. I've got 3 different sprouts going. I've got some mung beans, which must be kept in the dark, which is why I've got a cloth over that. I've got these broccoli sprouts and some radishes. Now this should come up within a couple of days or start coming up. It just depends on the humidity, or you've got to keep them nice and moist, and you've also got to keep them in a warm spot. So every day I rinse them about 2 to 3 times a day, and I soak the mung beans for about 5 minutes twice a day. This is a tip I picked up from the YouTube channel Her 22 Meters Squared. If you like my videos, then I think you'll absolutely love hers. She has a whole vegetable garden that she has on her balcony, and it's pretty amazing. So while I'm letting the mung beans just sit there for about 5 minutes, I'm going to go and water my plants with this water so that the water doesn't go to waste, trying to reuse everything, because resources like water are so precious that we really should not take them for granted. So these are just the plants that I've got in my sort of little conservatory greenhouse at the moment, because it's too cold still in the UK to put them outside. So hopefully when we do a food prep for summer video, we can use some of my own produce, which will be amazing. So I'm just putting them back on the shelf in indirect sunlight, but of course covering up the mung beans, and we'll leave those for another day or two. So I'm going to be batch making some chili mayonnaise, because for me spring signals, more fresh vegetables, salads and things like that, and just, I love mayonnaise. So I'm just putting in aquafaba and some mustard. I do have a whole video on this though, so I'll put that down below. I'm also putting in some garlic salt. This ended up not being enough salt, so I added some more a little bit later. And then a generous squeeze of lemon. To be honest, I put half this lemon in. So yes, and then I just put this on to blend until it got a little bit foamy and all of that was nice and mixed together. And then at this point I started to drip feed in the chili oil that I had. Now you can use any oil you like. Rapeseed and sunflower oil are more neutral tasting. I used an olive oil and it was a little strong for this, so I would use something like rapeseed, and then you can use chili puree, or you can use some chilies that you've soaked in your oil for about a week. So I just reused 2 jars to keep the mayonnaise in, and because it's mostly oil, it will keep for a really long time. Okay, next I'm going to be trying to make a basil and wild garlic pesto. Now it will be plant-based, and for any of my Italian followers, if you have any tips on making a pesto, please leave them in the comments below. This is certainly inspired, but I definitely would not call myself a pesto professional. So I'm using walnuts and hazelnuts. Again, hazelnuts are able to be grown in the UK, which is one of the reasons why I use them. I've added the basil and the nuts, some lemon and some salt to a food processor, and I'm just going to be making that into a paste. I didn't have very much wild garlic that I could use, so I've also added in 2 cloves of garlic, but of course if you want to make just a wild garlic pesto, you can absolutely do that. I would do it when, it depends on how your taste buds are. If you want it to be a more mild flavour, then you want to use a more mature plant, but if you want it to be really nice and strong, then you can use a much younger plant for that. Just make sure if you're foraging to be, again, very careful about how much you take and how you take it, and make sure there is an abundance left. So once my basil has made a paste, then I'm just going to drip feed in some olive oil. The olive oil is really important. You want to make sure it's a really nice high quality one, otherwise it just won't taste very good. And then once you've got a nice consistency that you like, I'm just going to place it in a reusable jar. And this, for me, will keep for at least 1 or 2 weeks, but to be honest, I'll probably eat it way before that. So this is just part 1 for my food prep video. I'm going to be making another one next week or the week after, it depends. But yeah, these are my mung beans. They're almost ready. If you like this video, give it a like, and I'll see you next time.